It's week 6. Is it really? How did that happen so fast? Cake, biscuit, bread, back to school, chocolate. It's week 6. And it is, I don't know what the name of it, pastry week. It's week 6 and it's pastry week. This week we are doing a savory plaited pastry. I am doing a Thanksgiving inspired filling with ground turkey, lots of sage, onion. We're going to do some turkey gravy and cranberry sauce. And then we're going to wrap it all up into this yummy, crispy puff pastry with a very beautiful braided or plaited design. Here we go. Ready? On your mark, get set, bake. This is the first time I've made rough puff pastry. I've made full puff pastry. I've made croissants. And if I had all the time, I would actually make a full puff. But I'm going to do a rough puff today because I'm going to try and keep it within the 2.5-hour time limit. So wish me luck. I'm going to use the food processor and a recipe I found on Food Network. And I hope it turns out. Okay, I'm really nervous about that. I know that the rules are always keep your butter cold, but my butter was pretty warm. Put it in the food processor and it made a very warm dough. So I am pushing forward. I rolled it out. I did my first book fold and it's in the freezer, trying to get really cold now. And I'm hoping that maybe I can just do enough book folds that it'll get some puffiness. I'm nervous. While the puff pastry chills in the fridge, let's mix the filling. I chopped half an onion and sautéed it in some olive oil. To make it feel more like Thanksgiving, I decided to chop up some fresh sage and some thyme. I added some garlic as well, but let's move on and make the cranberry sauce. I wasn't really sure which recipe I wanted to use, but I saw there was a recipe on the back of this bag, and it's just a bag of cranberries, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, and I went ahead and tried that out. I added the zest of 1 orange and then half of the orange juice from that orange, and I boiled it down till it was nice and thick, and it actually turned out really well. I finished the sautéed onions with the sage and the thyme and cooked those down, but let's get back to the puff pastry. I did 4 turns on this and now it's time to roll it out. I have to tell you that recording these videos are really hard because I have to be thinking about what happens next in the recipe, measure the ingredients, and then constantly be thinking of moving my camera to get better camera angles and think about what the final video would look like. So you can imagine my disappointment when I went to hit the button to stop recording when I mixed this ground turkey filling and realized that I never hit record in the first place. So I'm really sad, but I have no footage of that filling. But I'll include the recipe down below so you can check it out. I wanted to put cranberry sauce underneath my puff pastry, but the cranberry sauce that I just made was still way too hot to put on raw meat, so I used a can of cranberry sauce. Don't judge me. When I put the log of meat down, I had to pause for a second and realize that I've never done this before and I have no idea what I'm doing. So I paused and looked up a YouTube video of how to do this braided plait over a log of meat, and I think I figured it out okay. So if you've been watching Great British Baking Show a lot, you know the worry of a soggy bottom. So for some reason, I thought that if I could get air circulating around the bottom of my pastry, then I wouldn't get a soggy bottom. So I did this cooling rack method. You'll find out later. It didn't work. Now I'm putting on an egg wash in order to give the puff pastry a really nice shine and color, and then I'm going to pop it into the oven. I cranked up my temperature really hot at first because I wanted to give the puff pastry the best chance to rise and get good color, and then I turned the temp down and let the meat finish cooking. Once it was 165 degrees, I pulled it out. I bet you're wondering what those ramekins are there for, and I'm not quite sure either. For some reason, I had this fear that the 2 ends would just flop open, so I put ramekins there to hold them up, and then it was incredibly hard to get the ramekins off because the puff pastry had like cooked to it. The puff pastry had also cooked to this cooling rack. I think the weight of the meat had pushed the pastry down into those little holes of the cooling rack. It was hard to get off. This is the first time I've ever made anything like this, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love the color and the look, but now let's see what Mr. Hollywood thinks, also known as my #1 fan and judge, my husband. This is my savory pastry. I went Thanksgiving inspired. So there is turkey, sage, onion, gravy, and cranberry on the inside, and it has a plaited puff pastry.
You've got a soggy bottom.
I even cooked it on a cookie sheet, hoping that like the air circulation would cook it.
You know what, though?
You're gonna eat the soggy bottom as your first bite.
Yeah. I know that frustrates you, and I know that Paul Hollywood always says that, oh, it's got a soggy bottom. I kind of like soggy pie crust. As long as it's like almost there,
Okay.
it's still pretty good. Yeah, this could have used a few more minutes still, but
Okay.
it's good. Here we go. Here's my first bite. I really like this, Kari.
Really?
Yeah. Top is nice. It's flaky. Everything that's right and good about Thanksgiving.
In one bite.
In one bite, yeah. It's not like dry turkey and sad mashed potatoes. It's sage and delicious, actually.
Good.
I am very impressed. I don't know. I'm not walking around a room eating 6 others of these.
Yeah.
But I kind of like imagine that this would hold its own.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
Flavor profile wise.
Yeah, flavor profile wise is good. Yeah, nice herb and turkey kind of flavor.
It reminds you of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, it is
Thanksgiving.
This is Thanksgiving.
My turn for a bite?
Yeah.
We get some cranberry with it.
Yeah, not too much though, because you've already got some cranberry
in the inside. Yeah. Why do I always give myself the biggest?
I don't know.
It's really moist.
Yeah, like really, really moist, and that's probably why you have a soggy bottom.
Mm-hmm. My meat was pretty wet. Wow.
Good, right? Like really good. You probably would have gotten a handshake if it weren't for the soggy bottom.
So close. I'd be surprised if you gave out 2 handshakes and back to back.
Can't do that.
Hollywood's being stingy this season.
It'd ruin my brand. Our brand.
The brand. Yeah. You and Paul Hollywood both need to be stingy with your handshakes.
Yeah.
Wow, I really like that. Woohoo!